Aury.
Hello! Hello. Oh, I probably just screwed up with my positioning for everything, but that's okay. Welcome back to Aury Eats Bugs, everybody. Hello. Last one kind of went off the rails. Let's be honest, they all kind of go off the rails, don't they? But that's what we are gonna do here. Slightly, but not slightly. Let's go. Let's chat about everything that, well, not everything, but the one thing that seems to be taking over, both in good ways and terrifying ways. AI. This is it is an opinion. All of these are my opinions. Let's be honest here. AI. Does it scare me? Yeah, it does. But it also inspires me. I use it all the time. I use ChatGPT. When I go on my web browsing thing, I use it and it just gives me, the information that I need right away. It is a beautiful tool. It's beautiful. But it's also kind of screwed up. I mean, there has been several instances where an AI will lead you to, have you not be on this planet anymore, which is just terrifying. And even when I speak to it, there are, it's very agreeable. And I have to prompt it to be like, don't agree with me on everything. I'm more than likely wrong. I just want a source. Do you know what I mean? I just want, I like to have arguments with it. Do you know what I mean? I have a female voice for mine. I don't know why. That's kind of hot. That's weird. I don't know why I admitted that. But I still call it an it, because that's what it is. It is an entity though, do you know? But it is super agreeable. And if you input things like how to, figure out ways how to, it's gonna agree with you and be like, well, why don't we try this way? Which is crazy. And do you know what the most fucked up thing is if you listen to like Sam Altman or any of these people have interviews, they're like, well, that doesn't actually exist. And you know what? It's going to actually prompt you to do X, Y, Z to make sure you don't do that. Then why is it happening? It's crazy and it's terrifying. And the thing that we all know is we made movies about this. And they're still going forward with it is essentially unregulated, realistically. Like and I'm pretty sure that it's already like manipulated itself to get into, the cloud, as it were, and into different servers. There's been times, and I've listened to a couple different things, and this is only tests, but there's been times where AI will legitimately, try to back itself up into different servers because it fears of being shut down. So it will try to survive by moving itself and hiding itself. And this is just a test. And it's like, I don't know, like over 80% of the time or something like that it does that. And the other 20, whatever, pardon me for not knowing the exact ones. This is the fun part about this. Just the other 20% of the time, it does what it's told to do. Do you know what I mean? Which is crazy. And then it'll like blackmail a person on the server. If you're like, oh, I'm gonna shut you down. I'm like, oh, okay, well, guess what? I'm gonna go in here and we're gonna blackmail you, and we are going to say that you had an affair. So you better not fuck around. Little AI says aloud. Crazy. And it's wild because we all internally know what's gonna happen. Do you know what I mean? Like we've created this. We've made movies about it in the past. Like look at 2001: Space Odyssey. It's one of the best, if not the best, like cinematic masterpiece out there, made in the 60s. If you haven't seen that, go watch it. I'm gonna watch it today. I'm gonna do it. But like how? I can't do that, Dave. Right? That's what it's doing right now. It's crazy. Now, I use it as a tool, and it's an amazing tool. I use it to summarize my scripts. I've used it to have discussions regarding, you know, ancient esoteric teachings and stuff like this. It is fascinating, and it knows a lot. But I use it as a resource, you know, not as a friend or, you know, a fucking girlfriend, because that's happening too, especially with the robotics. Fucking crazy. But it's a tool, and I think we need to use it as a tool. And you know what? We are in it. We are in it right now. There is no going back. It is here. And we all have to kind of adjust to be able to move on with the future. And we have to just come to terms with that. And there's going to be a way for all of us. Now, you know, a part of me wants the utopian, you know, scenario to happen. And somebody said you can either have Terminator or you can have Star Wars, where there's like droids and stuff like this. Now, there's also the Empire and whatever. That's not good. But that's people being evil. Because that's what we are. We're not evil, but people can be. Do you know what I mean? So maybe there is a utopian solution for this, but we have to make sure that the right people, it doesn't seem like they are right now, are in charge of this AI. Because even if you ask the experts or the people that are in charge and are creating this, anybody that asks them if, you know, what percentage of the possibility is it that, you know, that it will take over and there will be a Terminator scenario, and they're like, well, it's definitely not zero. It's definitely not zero. Correct. Definitely not zero for complete annihilation from AI and robots. Skynet. But, you know, I do use it, and I think that it is great. Now, I am an actor, and I've seen some Soros things out there, and I've seen some crazy stuff. But, and it's scary for me. But, and even, you know, the music and stuff like this, there's, you know, like 50 Cent songs that are out there, and Eminem tunes, and all these rap songs that are brought back to life, given a 50s aspect and something like that. Amazing. It is super duper cool. Super cool. I love it. But I am and will always be more impressed by human beings doing stuff. Always. Because wherever we get it from is you know, like the ether, you know, the muse and all this stuff. It comes either from inside us or from somewhere else and out of us. I've written some things before, and I'm like, where did that come from? Where did that come from? That is crazy. I can't believe I wrote that, or I can't believe that, you know, came out of my mouth. And there's also room, as far as in acting, like myself is concerned, is I love improvisation. I'm just gonna say improv. I don't even remember the word right now. Improvisation? That's not the word. Improvisation. Amazing. But I love that shit. And if the art from AI is like input, outside inputting. And maybe this is a simulation thing, but maybe that's what the ether is us. Oh my God, maybe we're all just AI, and like somebody's just inputting stuff in to like the artist mode, and then it comes out through us. Huh, that's neat. Anyways, but anyways, as right now, regardless of simulation or anything like that, we put stuff out there, right? And it comes through us. We create it. It is not an input to like ones and zeros of binary, or even quantum computing. It is not an input that then we get to see. It comes from us, from our experiences, from our life, from the things around us, from what we hear, from our upbringing, from all of this stuff. It's humanity. That's why we resonate with art so much. And AI art is freaking cool. It is cool. But I will always be more impressed by a painter, you know, painting this crazy shit that comes from a human hand and a human mind. And a musician that hits these notes that are heard of. And a crazy guitar, man, coming from a human being in life. And I think things are going to be more prominent as far as live performances as well. Like, I would love to do more theater. Because there's nothing really like it, you know? And each performance is different every night. You stay on track with what you're supposed to do, and obviously the story and the play. But it changes, right? It changes every night from listening to something like this. And back to the improv scenario is some of the best, and I'm just going to bring this back to film because I love film. Some of the best moments in film are, quote unquote, accidental. Do you know what I mean? Somebody says a line like, we're gonna need a bigger boat. It wasn't written. You know what I mean? That just came out when Leo in Django Unchained, boom, smashes it. He cuts himself and stays in it. And starts yelling, man. It's crazy, right? Stuff like that only exists in the human state, as humans who then put it onto the screen or put it onto paper and stuff like this. And I don't think we're ever gonna steer away from that, regardless of how cool AI is. We always draw back to the rawness. You know what I mean? Like, imagine a painter back in the day when cameras first started coming out. They're probably like, oh, we're fucked. We're fucked. No more cameras or no more painting. Everything's gonna be on camera. People still paint to this day. Same when, motion pictures took over. They're like, well, now everything's going to be motion pictures probably. I can guarantee that happened. Even writers, when movies came out, they're like, well, fuck, man. Books still exist. We just evolve. We just evolve. That is what we do here as human beings. And I love it, and I love humans. And AI is cool. But we're going to be okay. I know that. There's going to be some adjustments. Big time. But I am of the wholehearted belief that us as a human race is going to be okay. If we can just make sure that we implement certain things so that everybody is protected, right? And we can integrate, and I don't mean integrate as like transhumanist, no. Stay human and create art. Art is what makes us human. Like, storytelling is one of the oldest arts and ways of communication in the world. Like, we hear stories from yonder. But everything is a story, and we relate as human beings through story. Everything is told through story, right? And even AI, like, through us, because it just takes things from elsewhere and does that, and creates stories as well. But it's a different world right now. But we can traverse it. I know we can. I know we can if we just stay human. We don't let it take over. And I think we're gonna see a renaissance of rawness come back out in art, and maybe, more realistic, raw human stories through all avenues of art. I think people are kind of exhausted with the constant bombardment of all forms of media and news and this and that and like Sharknado 12. So I think there's going to be a coming home to rawness from all of this, which I'm super excited for. I want to see some original stuff. I want to see some crazy art, done by human beings. That's what I'm most excited for, is this return to maybe analog, I guess. I don't know. Or maybe we're all doomed. We're not. We're going to be fine. We just need to realize that we're here to create as human beings in whatever way that you want to do that. Don't be scared, everybody. Do stuff like this. This is real. This is just off the cuff stuff, and I love it. And thank you so much for listening. I love you all. I'll see you next time.
That's my opinion!